The 5-second rule dates all the way back to 1162 during the rule of Genghis Khan. The idea was that food was prepared for him and it was so special that it was never to be wasted. So at banquets and events when food fell on the floor, it was deemed appropriate to eat it as long as Khan allowed it. Fast forward to today and the 5-second rule is still very present in American culture. Even though our society has vast knowledge of microbiology and health, this doesn't seem to stop people from eating food off the floor. The CDC reports that 1/6 of the American population, also known as 48 million people, get sick from foodborne illnesses every single year. Of that number, 128,000 are hospitalized and 3,000 die. Knowing these numbers, I wanted to know, why do Americans still choose to eat food off the floor? Is it because the 5-second rule has been validated by the scientific community, or is it because we don't want to waste our precious food? Luckily, a study done by Donald Schaffner and Robin Miranda was conducted and published and applied in environmental microbiology, answering all of my questions about the validity of the 5-second rule. They conducted an experiment where they dropped watermelon, bread with butter, plain bread, and a gummy candy on 4 different surfaces and left them for different time increments, ranging from less than a second to 300 seconds. The initial results were as expected, and they found a direct correlation between bacteria transfer and time. They also found that bacteria transfer occurs instantaneously, and nothing dropped on the floor was safe to eat. It turns out that moisture drives bacteria transfer from surface to food, meaning the wetter the food is, the higher the transfer of bacteria. Their data showed that the watermelon had the most amount of bacteria transferred, whereas the gummy candy had the least. Where the food was dropped played just as big of a role as the type of food dropped. A study by the Hygienic Council found that the area in front of the sink has more bacteria than a trash can, so if anything dropped there, it should be thrown out immediately. From the original choices of stainless steel, wood, carpet, and ceramic tiles, it was found that the stainless steel transferred the most bacteria, whereas the carpet surprisingly transferred the least. When talking about the 5-second rule, it makes sense to discuss types of food or the surface dropped on, but did you know there may also be a tie to gender? A 2003 study out of the University of Illinois found that those who identify as women are more familiar with the 5-second rule, and they are more likely to eat something off the floor versus those who identify as men. In the study, only 56% of men followed the 5-second rule versus 70% of women. So, at the end of the day, is it worth it to eat something off the floor covered in bacteria? For me, the answer is no, but the National Institute of Health found that the average adult already has 2 to 6 pounds of bacteria in their body. Adding a couple 100,000 more may not seem like a big deal to you, but it can be for your immune system. It's better to be safe than sorry and throw all dropped food away.